All right, and welcome. We're at our training salon now. We're in Oakland, California at Madrid International Blue Shampoo Training Salon. We're going to finish some more techniques for you. We're going to be working on our model here. We're going to relax our hair. We're going to cut our hair. We have some special circumstances that we're going to be dealing with, and I'll tell you about them. These are two of my daughters who are hairdressers, professional hairdressers, makeup artists. This is Trapé and Shannon. So say hey, hey. Okay, they're going to move out now, and they'll be back later. All right, so this is our model, and we're going to use our relaxer system on her, our Madrid International Texturizing Relaxer System. Now, she wants a shortcut, but there's a couple of things that she's concerned about. The hair is kind of sparse on the sides here, on both sides. So we have to come up with a look that's going to, of course, be pleasing to her and something that keeps her feeling nice and sexy, and that she's not feeling self-conscious about these areas. You have a lot of ladies that have traction alopecia, which is what that is, and they kind of not able to just be as free as they like to be and wear the kind of styles that they want to style because the area there. So we're going to create a hairdo for her that's going to be befitting for that. It's going to camouflage that whole look, and it's going to be amazing. So what I'm going to do is pre-cut some of the hair now, and then we're going to base her scalp, and then we're going to do a relaxer service. So I'm going to start, I'm going to use my clipper. And we're going to use a clipper over comb technique. For right now, I'm just going to get rid of some of the hair that we're not going to be using, because we don't want to relax all of this hair and then end up cutting it off. We'll just be wasting product. So we're just going to remove some of this hair here so we're not relaxing all of this hair, and then we're going to come back and finish our cut as we go. So if you get a service like this, and if your lady wants to go into a shortcut, don't waste all your time perming that hair and then turning around and cutting it all off. Just pre-cut the hair. We're not putting any tension on the hair. We're just lightly lifting the hair from the scalp and just pre-cutting a little bit as we go. We want to keep the length on the top, but we're actually going to cut this shorter, but I want to make sure I don't take too much now so I can make sure the cut balances well without me taking the hair too short on the top. So this is going to pretty much be our initial pre-cut. So we're actually cutting a shape, as you see, as we go. So when we get ready to come into our perimeter, we'll have all of that done. So right now we're going to use our cool base cream. This is what we use prior to doing relaxers right here. This is going to put protection on her scalp. The reason why we're going to do this is because her hair was in braids, and it's the first time I've relaxed her hair, so we're going to make sure we protect the scalp as well as we could, and also that it's comfortable. Her relaxer service is very comfortable. Now we have a texturizing relaxer system, so there's virtually no irritation at all. So, but we still want to make sure that we allow our clients in your salon to be as comfortable as possible with the service. And so basing the scalp, basically I'm just applying this base cream. I'm parting her hair and applying it directly to the scalp. Very simple, no brainer. You can see me just part the hair, section the hair, and just put the base cream on. So I like to start from the center and work from center left to the front hairline, and then center right to the front hairline as well. So you want to make sure you're generous with this. You don't have to make it where it's too much product, but you want to make sure that you have enough on there that's actually covering the scalp very well. It's very thin, so as soon as the heat from the scalp will actually help it to spread more evenly as well. So it'll just spread over the scalp. And so this is a virgin relaxer. She hadn't had her hair relaxed in, I think she said about 5 years or something like that. 2005. 2005, so that's like 10 years plus. Mathematics was a good subject for me, but I'm better at hair, okay? I can count money. I can count people, I think. All right, and we want to make sure that we get the hairline area as well, the area that's sparse in there. And then we're going to just repeat the same thing on the opposite side. So this doesn't take but a minute, but you don't want to rush through it. Remember, this is the part that we want to make sure the client gets a good chemical service. We want to make sure we have enough time to relax the hair. Now, in most cases, I don't relax the hair until it's totally bone straight. I like using the relaxer as a texturizer. I like to leave a little bit of natural curl to the hair, especially with hair like this, because the hair is not that coarse. It's dense in the crown area, but it's not as dense on the side, so it's multi-textured hair and it's multi-type, so it's not as thick as it looks. So if you make it too straight, then that could affect the hairstyle that you're doing, and you can't get the volume or the lift or the movement out of the hair. So consider just texturizing. Now, some cases, ladies want the hair really straight. In those cases, then you can use the relaxer as a straightener. But in most cases, with the way that we wear our hair nowadays, especially by using a lot of flat iron work, it just makes sense to leave a little bit of curl in the hair. And in her case, since the hair is so thin around the sides, we want to make sure that it's just not too straight, because we don't want it to be really limp. And then same thing around her perimeter again. And I'm going to apply a towel. So we're going to base, we based the scalp, and we made sure we covered the scalp pretty well. We had the perimeter. So now, especially for beauty students, this is how I do a double drape, because the state board calls you to do double draping for chemical services, but sometimes that can be so bulky and then it doesn't fit snug. So what I do is I just take the towel from corner to corner. Rocket science. Just take the towel from corner to corner like this, and I apply the towel in this fashion, and I make sure it's pretty snug. I put my drape on, and then we secure the drape. And then we take the towel and we lift it slightly and just roll it down like a little collar. And what happens, you see it's very neat, and what happens is it's like a double drape. It's two towels. So that's a little technique for you, something that you can do. Saves towels in the salon too, trust me. If you got a laundry bill, you don't want to be wasting towels like that. Okay, you want to make sure you wear gloves anytime you're doing a chemical service, relaxers, color, body waves, you want to make sure you always wear gloves. So we're going to use our texturizing relaxer, our regular strength. It comes in a container like this. And then we're going to, of course, after using step one, and I know we went through this earlier, but it's okay for us to reiterate it. Step one is to relax. Step two is what we use as our after relaxing conditioner. It deodorizes, it detangles, it starts the neutralizing process, it shrinks the hair strand, flattens the cuticle, and it's amazing. It's a great conditioner for after relaxing. Step three is stability. That's our neutralizing and clarifying shampoo. You want to make sure that your shampoo, after you rinse the relaxer, you apply your replenish, comb it through the hair, let it stay for 2 to 5 minutes. You can shampoo on top or rinse and replenish. And step four is our aspidity, our finishing conditioning treatment. They should go under the dryer for 10 minutes with a plastic cap, all right? So for convenience, I take the relaxer from the container and I put it in a little tub. That makes it easy for me to use. And you can see that's been used, so I use it all day, every day. I use a brush, and I use small tooth comb. So our application right now, we're going to start with a center division line right across the crown. And if you need to, you can put that down so it's out of the way. And we're going to start our relaxer service just away from the scalp. And then we're going to pull it all the way through because this is a virgin relaxer. So we're going to stay off the scalp, even though it's shorter hair. We can actually use our hand to do this service, but we want to be professional on the camera, and I don't want you to see me slinging perm. I'm going to apply it just like this all over the head, and it doesn't take long. Once we get it on, we're going to come back. We're going to use our hand to smooth it, and then we're going to use a comb and this brush. Initially, we want to get this relaxer on away from the scalp. Now, as the hair is getting shorter as it goes down, I'm just going to apply the relaxer to all the hair. Just bringing it up and applying it to all of the hair in the bottom section. If it were longer hair, then I would do the same technique that we started by just putting it just away from the scalp. Since it's shorter, it's faster if you just go in, and you want to make sure you get the product on. And now I like to use diagonal parting because sometimes you can create a hairdo if you use a center part and then you can't get that center part out later because of your smoothing process. So I always use an angled parting so I don't have that problem with that center part staying there. So we're going to work from the crown down to the hairline, still applying the relaxer away from the scalp. And we're just going to pull this section up. And same thing on this side. So you notice that our hair has some color on it. This relaxer is perfect for color treated hair. It's a texturizing relaxer, so it's not going to process so fast, and you don't have to worry about over processing the hair. Now, if the hair is bleached or if it has some high lift permanent color on it, then you want to be a little cautious with your timing because the hair is going to relax a lot quicker because it has a previous chemical service on it. So you want to make sure that you get your timing right and you don't have to worry about processing the hair as long as you would if it was virgin hair or if it was hair that had temporary color or something like that. So we're about done with our phase one of our application. And now we're going to go into phase two. Phase two, we're going to start picking up all of the edges in the hairline area. We're not going to totally saturate it now. We just want to get it in there so it's all in the mix. And now, since it's virgin hair, I'm going to take this relaxer here on my hand and I'm going to apply it to the length. We're going to use our hands to smooth it. Now, there's an application for every situation that you want, so you have to make sure that you choose the right application that's going to work for the job that you're doing. Now, we're going to be cutting more hair, so I'm not really worried about the ends because we're going to finish shaping her hair, but I do want to make sure the hair texturizes as even as possible. So at this point, your hands is a tool. It's your smoothing tool. Like if it were the back of your comb or if it was this tint brush, your hand is also an applicator. Coming out a little bit more on the ends, and I'm smoothing. Now after you get the hair covered well and you have it as smooth as you want, then you can just let the relaxer do the work itself. The part now is our physical movement, but there's also a chemical action that goes along with the physical action. The chemical action is what actually does the changing of the links and the bonds. And then you learn in your beauty school class that the hair loses the disulfide bond, and that's what keeps the hair straight. When you're flat ironing the hair, it also rearranges the links and the bonds, but it doesn't break that sulfur bond, so when you shampoo it, it'll go back to natural. But heat also serves as a relaxer. So we're going to let her just process now. If she was in the salon, she would have a nice magazine or get her a nice Coca-Cola or something and sit to the side. Now sometimes with caffeine beverages, prior to doing relaxer services, you have to be cautious because that caffeine can agitate the person. It can increase the blood flow, caffeine as a stimulator. So I typically don't let them drink caffeine drinks prior to relaxing. But once the relaxer's on, if she wants to have a nice beverage or something, some juice or a cup of coffee or some tea, it's okay. So she's just going to go and sit off to the side and process, and we're going to show you some more work, all right? Okay, so she's been sitting for a minute on the side, so all I want to do is it's a small comb, but it's not really small teeth, and I just want to lift and make sure the edges are smooth. We're not trying to comb. We just want to make sure that we lift it. Then we want to part through the hair and just check and see the degree of relaxation. So I was saying earlier that I didn't want her hair totally bone straight. So as I look through it, I'm just going to move the hair and smooth it. By moving, I mean lifting and smoothing. I'm not using the comb to comb the hair, but we're lifting and smoothing. So the relaxer's working well. The ends are pretty good, and we're going to be cutting the ends again, so we don't have to worry about them being, sometimes the ends won't get as straight depending on the type and texture of that person's hair. But in this case, again, we're going to finish a nice haircut, so we're going to be cutting off 50% of this hair again. All right, so she's ready to go to the bowl. And I already told you procedures. You saw it earlier with our first model. But again, we're going to go from the relaxer to step 2, step 3, and step 4. Be back in a sec. Here, get this. All right, this is our next model, our texturizing model. And we've already started cutting her hair. We're just shaping it down. And then we're going to use our relaxer to texturize. She wears the texturizer now. She has really curly hair, so we use the texturizer to remove some of the curl and leave the hair in a more wavy state. So we're just finishing up her cut. So you can cut the hair in any style that you want to do it. The basic thing here is how we use the relaxer to even out the texture of the hair. So this works for men and women. We actually have another one that we're going to do on the young man, on our youth. So this relaxer is very, very versatile. So you can use it a lot of different ways. So we had to kind of pre-cut it a little just so we can not waste a lot of time. But if you need a class in clipper cutting, you can give us a call, and we are in the training center, right? So that's a little cue for you. Hint, hint. Call us and come down and do one of our programs, our Salon Ready program. That program gets you when you come out of beauty school and you want to go to work in the salons, and you may be a little intimidated by hairdressers that's been doing hair for however long. Well, our Salon Ready program gets you ready for all salon work. You have training in hair cutting, hair coloring, weaving, natural hair styling, specialty hairdos, runway hair, all kinds of different things for hair. Color, we have replication, cutting and coloring. We have non-surgical hair replacement. We have a lot of things that you can do to make you salon ready. So at the end of the video, we'll put the phone numbers up there and the email address and our website, and you can give us a call. You can come to Oakland and hang out for a week or two. And go back and knock them dead. All right, so I have a special comb that I use. Don't laugh at my comb now. It's a special comb I use for texturizing. I break these teeth out here if I have to part somebody's hair that's longer. Helps me to move the hair, and then this side I just manipulate the hair. So in this case, we're going to use our same relaxer. And what you want to do is start the service where the hair is most dense or the hair is most coarse. In her case, it's going to be back in this back section. We just want to put it on, and we're going to put it on against the growth pattern so that we're getting the relaxer down close to the scalp. And we're going to come to the sides. You can use this same technique for men or women. The only thing that changes is the length of the hair. So this is just a short hair texturizing technique. If it's long hair, you can do a similar service like the relaxer that I just did, except you won't be manipulating the hair as much because you only want to remove so much curl and so much wave, so you won't be manipulating it as much. So now we're going to get this product on. And after we get it on, now we're going to just comb it. And as we comb it, we regulate based on the wave that you see or the curl that you see. There's different techniques to using it. I'm going to show you one more technique where we're going to be working for a curl instead of a wave. So we want to just make sure we comb the hair as we go. Make sure you apply it all the way throughout the entire hair form. This is a very fluent service. And it's a great money maker. You start texturizing hair and you definitely increase your service ticket. Like the Bible says, 100-fold. How about that? Works for me. So now I'm just manipulating the hair, and then as I comb it, I'm replacing that relaxer in the areas, and I'm smoothing and combing. Now, depending on how coarse the person's hair is going to determine how much texturizing you get and how much manipulating you get. Right now, I'm manipulating the hair. I'm combing the hair both forward and back so I can get a little bit of lift to it. And then all back as I smooth it. So it normally takes about 3 to 7 minutes, depending on the hair type, for the hair to actually start breaking down. So make sure you keep an eye on the pattern that you have. And typically, if you want to curl, you're going to be lifting the hair more. I'll show you in a moment on our next model. But by smoothing the hair like this, we want more of a wave. So I just comb it until I see that wave pattern come in. Just continue to comb it. You use a method. There's a methodology to this. And you smooth. So I'm smoothing around here because I want the hair smoother on the back. And this area right here is where her hair has a nice growth pattern change. So we smooth it a little more in here. And then we comb it back. Now I'm watching the wave. You see how the hair is starting to elongate? So it's just about where I would want it to be. So typically when that happens, I work about 30 seconds more to elongate it, because when I put that replenish on there, it's going to draw the hair up. Remember what the replenish does? It shrinks the hair strand, it flattens the cuticle, and you're going to see that it's going to draw the hair, and it's going to make that wave pattern stay right at that position that you manipulated it with your relaxer. So she's about ready to go to the bowl. So we're going to take her, and we're going to use the same step 2, 3, and 4 that we use for the relaxer system. All right, we'll be back shortly. Okay, so we just rinsed our relaxer. And now I'm going to apply step 2 to her hair. And step 2, when you use it, you want to make sure you have a comb that you can comb through the hair. So I'm going to have her sit up for a second so you can actually see what the replenish is going to do. So you can see the hair here now. I'm going to take the replenish, and you always shake well. Give it a little shake. Going to apply. And then I'll have her sit up. Okay, now I'll have you sit up right quick. Now, you can see, as I comb this, you can actually see the hair shrink. You see how it's shrinking up? You see that wave coming in there? That's the replenish shrinking the hair strand and flattening the cuticle. So this is conditioning the hair, it's deodorizing the hair, it's starting a neutralizing process on the hair. And this is going to stay from 2 to 5 minutes, and then we're going to shampoo right on top of it. So I just want you to see that work. So you see how it infuses the hair with proteins and moisturizing conditioners. It's amazing, isn't it? Yay! So at this point now, we're going to wait 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and then we're going to shampoo using our stability, and then step 4, the aspidemy. Okay, this is Elijah. This is our next model. I pre-cut the sides because we want to not take a long time for this video. So we're going to texturize his hair as well. A lot of young men are wearing texturized hairdos, or you can put them in texturized hairdos. Gives them that nice freedom, that curl, because he has a very, very tight, very dense curl. And it's hard to comb the hair, so what we're going to do is soften the hair, texturize it, give him a little more movement, a little more freedom in his cut. So we're going to do the same type of application that we did on our lady a moment ago. Going to make sure we apply this relaxer all over where the length of hair is first, and then we'll work down to the sides a little later. And then we're going to use our fingertips, oh, I got to get some gloves on, to kind of scrunch the hair up some. So I'm going to pause for a hot second and put some gloves on because I want you to make sure you're wearing gloves all the time. Okay. So now we're going to get this product on. We're working where the length is. We'll come down to the short hair a little later. So we're manipulating the hair so we can get it down to the scalp area. His hair is very coarse hair. This is perfect for our young men and our men that have really, really coarse hair and they don't get the kind of movement that they want for their hairstyle. This is a perfect service for them. So after we get that relaxer on, then we're going to just slightly start manipulating it. Just move it a little and give the relaxer some time to do its job. So I'm going to just keep this up for a second. We want more of a curl this time, so we're not so much combing through the hair as much as we're just making sure we manipulate the product as close to the scalp as possible. Okay, so now we see that hair is starting to soften. So with the curl pattern, remember, we don't want to necessarily comb through the hair a lot. You want to lift it. And by lifting it, you can comb the ends, but you just kind of lift it. Now on the sides, we want to keep it smooth. In the back. And he's just about ready for the bowl. Now that replenish is going to do the same thing here. It's going to take this hair and it's going to shrink the cuticle. And it's going to do the same thing, and we're going to have a nice little curl pattern. Then we'll show you how to keep that curl up with some of our styling aids. All right, so we're going to get ready to go to the bowl. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Shannon Johnson, and I specialize in blowouts. I'm going to do a blowout on her hair. I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to use some of these products. I'm going to use a setting lotion for her curly hair to make it smooth and add texture to it when I'm blow drying it. And then at the end of it all, I'm going to use some silk essence, polish, and rub it through her hair so it can be like silky and flowy and shiny. And then maybe I'll use some pomade if she has any flyaways. I'll put a little bit on her, rub it in my hands, put it on her hair. So now we're gonna go wash her hair.